We have the Denver Broncos taking on the New Orleans Saints. This is your Week 7 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Also hit the like button. It's crazy how fast the season is going. But I want to start off with the New Orleans Saints because they are the home team. Sean Payton is returning to face against the New Orleans Saints. And after the New Orleans Saints started out being 2-0, they've lost their last 4 games. This is a team that is beat up right now. Derek Carr is out for this game, and this team is dealing with numerous injuries at the offensive line position. But I want to start off with Spencer Rattler. He got to be the starting quarterback last week. This is not the ideal situation for a rookie because this is a short week. Spencer Rattler came out against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first half. He did look solid. In the second half, not as much. He was 22 of 40 in the day, 243 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 interceptions, and he got sacked 5 times. You have to find a way to keep this kid upright against the Denver Broncos. The best unit with the Denver Broncos is their defense, and they have a playmaking defense. Spencer Rattler has to calm down and be patient with his reads. Chris Olave is doubtful for this game, just like Patrick Surtain is. But when I look at this situation for the New Orleans Saints, bunch of quick game. Get the football out quick to Alvin Kamara. Get the football out quick to Rashid Shaheed. Get the football out quick to the tight ends as well. And they did that last week with Foster, but continue to do that at a quick rate. You do not want this kid to go out there and face that pressure. Now, Spencer Rattler does have the ability to move around, but like I mentioned before, this is a short week. Do not put him into situations where it's 3rd and long and he has to sit back in the pocket. The New Orleans Saints pass protection is not good right now due to injuries. They're in their 3rd center already, and we're just 7 weeks into this thing. The offensive line has to play better, but it starts with the quick game by Clint Kubiak. Get the football out quick to Alvin Kamara. And last week, Alvin Kamara had 13 rushes for 40 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Yes, he fumbled the football, but run the football more with him. Jamal Williams only had 2 carries. You have to give Alvin Kamara the football in the backfield. He has to be the main focal point with this offense, with Chris Olave being doubtful for this matchup. Get Juwan Johnson involved as well. He had 3 catches for 48 yards last week. The biggest thing here for Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints is to take care of the football and to get the football out as quick as possible. Bub Means was the leading wide receiver last week in terms of just receptions and getting things done. It was the tight ends. But Bub, he is a guy that's a rookie. Part of the reason is because Spencer Rattler has a good rapport with him because he did not get the first team reps. That all went to Derek Carr. So get him involved as well. You also have Cedric Wilson. You have a lot of wide receivers that can go out there and make life easy on Spencer Rattler and tight ends as well. Run the offense through them and run the football as much as possible and work off of play action. Then you can take those deep shots with Rashid Shaheed, but be very careful with doing that. And by the way, Shaheed did have a punt return last week. He's an electric player. Be on lookout for him on kick and punt return duty. And also, you look at Shaheed. He only had 1 catch for 11 yards last week off of 7 targets. You don't have to force him the football. Do some end-around plays with him. Get him the football inside the slot on some screen passes, and then you can take those deep shots down the field, but limit those deep shots because the Denver Broncos, they can get after the quarterback, and they have a playmaking secondary. Even without Patrick Surtain, they can go out there, and it can cause a lot of problems. When I look at the defense for the New Orleans Saints, yes, you caused Baker Mayfield to throw 3 interceptions. But in the last 4 weeks, the defensive tackling has been terrible. They have to go out there and make tackles in space. This also scares me. Anytime over the last few years, the New Orleans Saints defense would face off against a mobile quarterback, it never ended out very well for them. And their defense takes a massive step back. Bo Nix does not have Josh Allen type of speed. He doesn't have Lamar Jackson type of speed, but he's a very mobile quarterback. The first 2 games of this season, he was their leading rusher, and he was their leading rusher last week. Bo Nix has very good playmaking ability, and if you're not careful, he will go out there and he will make you pay. So watch out for that. Guys are going to have to step up on this defensive line. I'm talking about Brian Bresee, who's a very good defensive tackle. I'm also looking at Cameron Jordan as well. He's not going to offer you much in terms of sack production, but he can go out there, he can stop the run. They have to contain Bo Nix and make life hard on them as well. When you look at Paulson Debo, yes, he had an interception last week, but he proceeded to play terrible for the rest of the game. Stop the penalties and do not put him on the fastest wide receiver with the team. And that's one thing that comes down to Dennis Allen as well. Dennis Allen is going to have to go out there and find a way to play that press man coverage. When you look at the Denver Broncos, you may only think that they only have Cortland Sutton. No, that's not the case. They have other guys that can get you as well. Lil Jordan Humphrey had a good game a couple of weeks ago. And the same with Troy Franklin. He's starting to get comfortable in the NFL. He had a receiving touchdown last week. Play press man coverage and make other weapons besides Cortland Sutton beat you, and keep Bo Nix's legs behind the line of scrimmage. Do not let him go out there and run around and cause these big time plays like how he did last week against the Los Angeles Chargers in the second half. You want to pounce on him early, give him a lot of different defensive looks. And this is one thing that bothers me as well for the New Orleans Saints. Dennis Allen is the former defensive coordinator for the Saints. And that's when Sean Payton was the head coach. So he knows everything about his defense. And you can say the same thing about Dennis Allen. He knows the offense of Sean Payton, but it's a little different. Sean Payton is a better coach than Dennis Allen. So you have to go out there, put a lot of pressure on Bo Nix. Pay attention to the secondary as a whole with guys like Marshawn Lattimore, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and also a guy, like I mentioned before, in Paulson Adebo. He has had a lot of penalties this season. Be careful with how you use him in that man coverage. DeMario Davis is a very good linebacker. He has to step up in this game, and the same with Willie Gay. And pay attention to Tyrann Mathieu on the back end as well. But the New Orleans Saints, they have a good shot to go out there and rebound and win this game. You're facing one of those teams that's young, and they don't have too many weapons on the offensive end for their rookie quarterback. Now let's talk about the Denver Broncos. They got on a winning streak. Last week, you lose against the Los Angeles Chargers, but you saw what happened in the second half. They were fighting back. Patrick Surtain left the game early with a concussion. Like I mentioned before, he's doubtful for this game, but you still have very good defensive players. And I want to start off with the defense. You have to go out there and put a lot of pressure on Spencer Rattler. Vance Joseph is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL this season. And the funny thing about it is this: they don't have to blitz every single play to get pressure. Their front four is one of the best front fours in the NFL. They can get pressure on their own. So imagine what's going to happen when he dials up the blitz. And he's going to, because this is a rookie quarterback. You have a guy in Zach Allen, 3.5 sacks on the season. John Franklin Myers can go back there. He can create pressure as well. He has 2 sacks on the season. But Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito, those are the guys you had to look out for. Because those guys can flip back and they can play in coverage. And at the same time, they can put their hand down in the dirt and they can get after the quarterback. So pay very close attention to those matchups on the tackles as well. Like I mentioned before, Spencer Rattler is a young quarterback. Last week, he did have a lot of good moments. But this offensive line, they're beat up right now. So generate a lot of pressure on the outside and through the middle of the field as well. And give Spencer Rattler a different type of look to the game. Because if you go out there and it looks like you're playing cover one and you're not, you can confuse him. That's something that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did last week, and they got an interception off of it. Even without Patrick Surtain, you have good players in the secondary like Jaquan McMillan, Brandon Jones at the free safety position, and P.J. Locke as well. And they're flying across the field and also stop the run. A guy like Spencer Rattler have to go out there and play in a one-dimensional offense, and you should be in a very good situation. The Broncos have done this throughout this entire season, and they've won a lot of football games because of it. Do not let the lack of opportunity on the offensive end that they have fool you. This is a football team that's very well coached on the defensive side. And the part of the reason why they have been in a lot of close football games this season is because of their defense. And I also want to look at the offense here. Bo Nix, you have to give this kid more chances to go out there and to throw the football in terms of just getting the football out quick. Now, Sean Payton has done that in the past against the New York Jets. Last week, he did more of that in the second half. To just put it lightly, the wide receivers, besides Cortland Sutton, they're very inconsistent, and they're not that good right now. And you're going against the defense of the New Orleans Saints. But this is the funny thing. Last week, the Saints could not tackle. Get the football out quick. The same thing I said for Spencer Rattler, do the same thing with Bo Nix. Get the football out quick and force those linebackers and those players in secondary to tackle. Get some yards after the catch. And they also have to get the run game going. Bo Nix was a leading rusher for the Broncos the first 2 games. He was a leading rusher last week as well. Usually when that happens, the Denver Broncos, they lose the game. Now, a couple weeks ago, he had a great game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's because the guys around him stepped up. Get Cortland Sutton the football in the red zone area and target him on 3rd down. And give Troy Franklin more opportunities to go out there and to be a major deep threat going down the field. Use the tight ends a lot as well. But then come down to the run game of Javonte Williams. Can he go out there and can he help out Bo Nix? And for Jaleel as well, who is the backup running back with the team. My biggest thing is this with Bo Nix and the offense as a whole. Let him use his legs. He has 5 passing touchdowns and 5 interceptions on the season. but he's been a very good playmaker behind the line of scrimmage. And like I mentioned before, the New Orleans Saints have struggled against scrambling quarterbacks, dating back to when they had to play against Cam Newton. Lamar Jackson has killed them in the past, and the same with Jalen Hurts as well. They've played better over the last couple of years, but the defense does not look the same. Let Bo Nix go out there and use his legs and do some play action bootlegs. And that is something that Sean Payton loves to do. It's going to be very interesting to see Sean Payton go back to the New Orleans Saints, a team that he retired from. And just a year later, he goes to the Denver Broncos. It's going to be very interesting to see that environment. Will the fans boo him? Will they show him a lot of love? And he's going against his former assistant in Dennis Allen, his former defensive coordinator. With that being said, I do have the Denver Broncos winning this game. But I have the Denver Broncos winning this game in ugly fashion. I have the Broncos winning this game 24-14. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game, the Denver Broncos or the New Orleans Saints? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.